Beyond every horizon lies a new frontier. Explore, build, evolve. AuraLith Frontier.
All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're building your ultimate financial playbook, literally shifting from playing defense with your variable income to going completely on the offensive to optimize your wealth. If you're a young earner juggling a mix of salary and side hustles, or maybe a founder staring down a massive equity event, having a rock-solid strategy is, well, it's absolutely everything. We're gonna lock down your personal budgeting and cash flow first, and then we pivot hard into some seriously advanced wealth-building tactics. Here's the game plan for today. We've got two main phases. Phase 1 is all about foundational security, so managing that variable income, properly sizing your emergency fund, and mastering the freelancer tax reserve. Once our defense is completely dialed in, we move to the offense. That's where we tackle pinnacle wealth optimization strategies, like the mega backdoor Roth and maximizing those sweet QSBS tax exclusions. So, let's kick things off with Section 1, managing a variable income and setting your floor. When you're juggling multiple income streams, say a day job, some freelance retainers, maybe consulting fees, your very first step has got to be establishing a solid baseline budget. And the trick here? It must be derived from your lowest realistic income month. This ensures you never accidentally overspend when you hit one of those really high income months. Think of your life in 3 distinct buckets, following the Planet Spark allocation rule. First, your fixed expenses. That is your non-negotiable floor. It absolutely has to be covered even if you have a terrible month. Next, your essential variables, which are capped within a baseline ceiling. But the real magic, the crucial pivot here, is the surplus allocation. Any income that exceeds your lowest month baseline should be strictly diverted into your surplus rolls for savings top-ups and investments. It literally stops lifestyle inflation dead in its tracks. Moving right along to Section 2, sizing your emergency fund well beyond the basics. Now, this concept completely flips traditional financial advice on its head. We all know the classic rule of thumb, right? Stash away 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But if you have variable income, relying on that standard salaried worker advice could actually leave you dangerously exposed. I mean, think about it. If a major client suddenly drops or a big project gets delayed, 3 months can vanish in the blink of an eye. So the takeaway here is that you need to significantly extend that runway. Based on the Planet Spark templates, fully freelance professionals actually need a minimum 9-month multiplier. And if you're operating in high-risk industries, or maybe you have a single client dependency, where losing one contract means losing the vast majority of your income, you absolutely must target a 12-month maximum emergency fund to truly bulletproof your financial floor. All right, on to Section 3, the freelancer tax reserve and bulletproofing your cash flow. Because protecting your income isn't just about saving for a rainy day, is it? It also means preparing for advanced tax deadlines without totally derailing your monthly budget. If you've got side income coming in without taxes automatically being withheld, you need a system. By automatically siphoning off, say, 25 to 30% of those payments into a dedicated tax reserve account the exact same day you're paid, you guarantee that the money is sitting there when the government eventually comes knocking. Plus, there's this great strategy called the 48-hour rule. Basically, you park all windfall or bonus income in a liquid savings account for 2 days before doing anything with it. This completely eliminates the emotional traps of irregular cash flow. You pause, you take a breath, and then you allocate the funds according to your actual plan. Which brings us to Section 4, the mega backdoor Roth strategy. This is our offensive pivot. Okay, so your floor is secure, your emergency fund is padded, your tax reserves are locked in. Now, it's time to raise the ceiling and transition into our financial offense by supercharging your retirement contributions. Let's look at a breakdown from Sentinel Trust using a total $66,000 retirement limit. This is how you rapidly accelerate wealth. Normally, you'd max out your pre-tax 401k at $22,500. Add in a $4,000 employer match, maybe a $6,500 backdoor IRA. But wait, look at that massive remaining slice of the pie, $33,000. By contributing that huge amount in after-tax dollars to your 401k and then converting it to a Roth, this mega backdoor strategy becomes a phenomenal wealth accelerator. Those funds get to grow entirely tax-free. And, as employee fiduciary notes, this is an absolutely perfect strategy for solopreneurs who are utilizing a solo 401k plan. But of course, there is a catch. To successfully pull off this mega backdoor Roth, your employer's plan, or your solo 401k, has to allow what are called in-service distributions. That just means you're allowed to move those after-tax funds out while you're still employed.
Your plan administrator also has to meticulously track the pre-tax and after-tax portions completely separately to help you avoid the pro-rata tax penalty. So yeah, it requires some precision, but the long-term tax-free growth is frankly staggering. Now for our final deep dive, Section 5, maximizing QSB tax exclusions, basically the ultimate tax shield. Let's dig into one of the absolute most powerful tax exclusions out there for startup founders and equity-compensated employees: Qualified Small Business Stock, or QSBS. According to a guide by Morgan Stanley, if your company meets some strict IRS criteria, things like being a U.S. C corporation and notably not operating in the financial or hospitality sectors, you could literally be sitting on a gold mine. The gross asset limit at the time of issuance is capped at $75 million. But if you meet all the requirements and hold your original issue shares for 5 full years, you can shield up to $15 million, or 10 times your adjusted basis, from federal capital gains taxes. Think about that. That is a massive tax shield just for holding onto your equity. Now, you aren't just stuck waiting 5 years and crossing your fingers. Morgan Stanley actually outlines several brilliant avenues to optimize QSBS. For instance, what if your company gets acquired before you hit that 5-year mark? Well, you can actually utilize Section 1045 rollovers. This allows you to push those capital gains into a brand new QSBS-eligible stock within 60 days, effectively keeping your original acquisition date alive and ticking. Another crucial strategy to keep in your back pocket is the 83B election. For young earners or early employees who get restricted stock awards with early exercise provisions, making an 83B election is a brilliant tactical move. Basically, you pay taxes on the fair market value of the stock at the time of the grant, which is often super low. And boom, it immediately starts your 5-year QSBS holding period clock. You satisfy that holding period much sooner and lock in that incredible exclusion.
But wait, because the ultimate QSBS power move is something called stacking. See, because that $15 million QSBS exclusion applies on a per taxpayer basis, you can actually gift shares to separate taxpayers, like non-grantor trusts for distinct beneficiaries. Morgan Stanley gives this wild example where a hypothetical founder, Jane, had a $50 million gain. With 0 QSBS, she'd owe about $11.9 million in taxes. Ouch. With a standard QSBS exclusion, that drops to $8.3 million. Still a lot, but by stacking the exclusion across 2 trusts, she legally reduced her potential taxes down to just $1.2 million. That's nearly $11 million saved simply by strategically structuring her assets. We've covered a ton of ground today in this explainer, from setting a really concrete budget floor based on your lowest variable income month, all the way to deploying massive tax shields like the Mega Backdoor Roth and QSBS stocking. So as you look over your own multi-income streams or equity packages, ask yourself, what defensive baselines do you need to establish today so you can aggressively capitalize on these massive offensive tax exclusions tomorrow? Seriously, are you leaving millions on the table? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly recommend you start putting your own personal financial playbook into action today. Catch you next time.
The journey doesn't end here. See you at the next frontier. AuraLith Frontier.